Hi, Debbie Chu here from Chew on Vegan, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I will be showing you what I eat in a day as a whole food plant-based vegan. I eat low calorie density foods, no oil, gluten-free. Eating this way you are able to eat plenty of delicious foods. There's no measuring, there's no counting calories, you're not going to be hungry. I learned this way of eating from Dr. John McDougall and his book, The Starch Solution. If you would like more information, I will leave a link in the description box below. On my channel, you will find quick and easy whole food plant-based gluten-free recipes. So if that sounds good to you, I hope you would consider subscribing, and you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And if you're new to this way of eating or feel like you need a little bit more support, I've started a Facebook group, and I will leave a link to that group in the description box below. In this What I Eat in a Day video, I will be showing you foods that I eat on a regular basis. They're very simple, they're very basic, they're very easy. But this is how I eat most of the time. So let's get started. So for breakfast this morning, I'm gonna do some hash browns, but I'm also gonna do an omelet, and I'm gonna be using Follow Your Heart Veganegg here. It is super low in fat, it's delicious, and it's a little bit of a processed food, but I do love to have an omelet every once in a while, and this is also a great way to get your veggies in for your breakfast because I throw a bunch of veggies in my omelet. But first we're gonna get started on the hash browns because I'm gonna put these in my panini maker. So all I'm gonna do is add some bell pepper and some onion. And today I'm gonna be using this bacon seasoning. It's 100% vegan, so don't freak out with the word bacon in there. So we're just gonna season this up with a little bit of this bacon seasoning. And if you miss the taste of bacon, this will really help you out. Then we're just gonna give it a quick stir. I'm gonna go throw this in my panini maker, and then we're gonna go over the stove and start my omelet. So I've got a little water in my pan here, and we're gonna start by sauteing some mushrooms. We're gonna let these cook down a little bit, let them release their moisture, and then we'll add in the other veggies. Now that these cooked down a bit, I'm gonna add some bell pepper. I've got a green and an orange. I've got some red onion and some shredded zucchini. And we'll just let these saute for a few minutes. And I'll add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Now let's whip up this egg mixture. I've got 2 tablespoons of the Follow Your Heart Veganegg, and then I'm going to add a half a cup of ice cold water. I'm going to whisk this thoroughly, and then you need to immediately put it in the pan. This is equal to 1 egg. Now go ahead and pour that into your pan on top of your veggies. Now you're just going to cook this like it's regular eggs, and you're just going to move it around. Takes a few minutes. The last thing I do is I add a handful of spinach and just let it cook down for a couple of minutes, and then we'll be ready to serve. So the last thing I do is I put a little bit of my plant-based cheese sauce on top. You could put salsa, ketchup, whatever you'd like, but I love the cheese sauce on here. And then I just put a little barbecue sauce. You can use ketchup on my hash browns. They come out so nice in the panini maker. So as you can see, it's mostly veggies, and you've got your nice side of hash browns, delicious, filling, low calorie density breakfast. So for lunch today, I'm just gonna have some leftover soup. This soup I threw together last night in my Instant Pot. Basically just I had some leftover delicata squash. I had a little pumpkin left over. Peeled it, chopped it, roasted it in the oven with some onion powder, garlic powder for about 30 minutes. Threw that in the Instant Pot with some potatoes, carrots, celery, some little bouillon, and some vegetable broth, and some spices. And then I just pureed it with my little inversion blender. And after it was all done cooking, I just chopped up some baby kale and threw that in. Then I'm just gonna add some rice. to this. And I made a salad last night, and I just hate to waste food, and my husband and I just couldn't finish it, so I put it in a container, and it's a little wilty, but you know what? It's good. Yeah, I mean, I have a thing about wasting food, so this will be lunch today. I got a salad, rice, and my soup. So my go-to snack is always an apple. I love an apple, and these are the Envy apples. I think I've told you before, these are my favorite. So apples are great. Don't be afraid to eat fruit. I mean, it's so good for you. The fiber, the water, the vitamin, the minerals. It's absolutely okay to eat fruit. I know some people are scared because they think it's too much sugar, but really, with all the fiber and the water, it is a perfect food and very low calorie dense. So I really love a cup of tea as well, and I love this Country Peach Passion. This is the Celestial brand, and I just have a cup of tea and I'll have my apple, and that will be my snack. For dinner, I'm going to be making a pizza. Now this is going to be a gluten-free pizza because I do have celiac, so I cannot have any gluten. So in this bowl, I have a few things. I have a half a cup of gluten-free flour. I just use Trader Joe's flour, gluten-free flour. You could use brown rice flour, is fine as well. I've got 2 tablespoons of arrowroot flour. I have 3 tablespoons of golden flaxseed ground, a 1/4 cup of almond flour, and then I also put in my little bullet here a 1/3 cup of oats and 2 tablespoons of quinoa that I just kind of ground into a flour, so I'm going to add that as well. And I also added a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So I just want to mix this really well. And just know when you're dealing with gluten-free flours, you know, it's not going to be light and fluffy as it would be with flours with gluten. And that's just kind of the way it goes. But this one has a really great flavor and probably one of the best gluten-free doughs that I've made for a pizza. So after you've mixed it well, you want to make sure there's no lumps in there or anything. I just start adding some water a little bit at a time. There's no set amount. I feel like it's different every time, but I'm just going to start with maybe a 1/4 cup and just start working it in. And you're just going to add more as needed. So you just want a dough this consistency here. So I have my old pizza stone. I've had this for, God, I think I've had it for 20 years. I got it at Pampered Chef Party 20 years ago. It is great. I'm gonna put down a little parchment paper just so we don't have to fight our dough here. And then we're just going to flatten it out. Just do this by hand to get it to about a 1/4 inch thick. So you want it to be about this thickness. Perfect. And this is for one person. If you want to do more, you can double it, triple it, but I'll eat this whole thing and will not feel guilty about it. I'm going to bake this in a 450-degree oven for about 10 minutes. And then I'm going to take it off, flip it over, and then we're going to top it. Okay, so this was about 12 minutes in the oven. Now we're going to try not to burn ourselves. We need to flip it over. Right onto the stone. And now I'm just gonna load it up. Now I'm just gonna use a jarred pizza sauce and no oil. You wanna go a little heavy on the sauce because gluten-free can be a little dry. Then I'm gonna add my toppings. And these will look very familiar to what I put in my little eggs this morning. But I've got some bell peppers, little red onion. I'm gonna put a little zucchini on here, a few mushrooms, and of course you can make this however you want, whatever toppings your family likes. A few olives, and I'm gonna add some artichoke hearts on here. Tell me, does this not look yummy? Then I'm gonna top it with a little bit of baby spinach. And then it's gonna go back in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes till it's the crispiness that you like. And this spinach, of course, will kind of shrivel up. Here is our beautiful pizza. Look at that, it's delicious. The last thing I do is I like to dollop on a little of my plant-based cheese sauce. So just a little bit. And if you don't want to do this, that's fine, it's optional. My husband likes it when I put the cheese sauce on there. I'm actually fine without it. And there you go. Beautiful pizza, all for yourself. You can share it if you want. And I hope you enjoyed this What I Eat in a Day. If you did, please leave me a comment below and be sure to subscribe and follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And please check out my Facebook group as well. All the recipes and any links to products I used will be in the description box below. Until next time, thank you.